What is going on, YouTube? PPS back. It is past the prop. We're coming at you guys for the 25th January slate. 10 gamer. Some big boys on this slate. This is another one of those slates where, you know what me and Stu like to talk about? We like to talk about these garbage teams. I can't even put the Thunder in garbage teams anymore. These guys are nice. They are nice. They're now a very good team, and I love to see it. But before we get into everything, joined by my guy, Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. The NBA, I was going to say NFL. The NBA's been treating us very well. Obviously, had that great show with our guy calling our shot last show. A nice, almost full sweep. Collins 1 rebound away from even completing the long shot sweep as well. So it's always good to enjoy days like that. And hopefully we can just keep that momentum flowing. And like you said, phenomenal NBA slate today. A lot of great games. We kind of got the bad teams playing each other. We got the good teams playing each other. The totals are through the roof across the board. So I'm very excited, man. A lot of good stuff to look forward to tonight.
Yeah, only 1 rebound away. And I think Collins had like 12 and 8 going into the final quarter. Only grabbed 1 rebound. So that sucked. But hopefully, we talk about it. Whether it be just me and Stu on here, and we throw it right in a 1 spot, straight bet that spot. Obviously, you can throw like a quarter of your unit on a parlay if you really want to get crazy with us. But especially there, that's a perfect situation for a round robin long shot. Get your payouts. I still think it would. I saw someone tag me on Pickett that they made a decent amount on the round robin of our 3 plays. 1 rebound away from hitting a pretty big boy there. Just going to check through the comments section here, and we'll see what's up. We'll go through our recap, and then we'll get right into it for you guys. I know we're a little bit behind. To start, that's my fault. I was looking at the golf tournament and seeing my boy Pendrith absolutely suck. So hopefully his caddy is watching the show right now, telling him to pick his shit up, or he should just get cut. Go throw him down. Go throw them in. I don't even know what do they. They don't have I can't say like Canadian Football League. I can't even say that.
They've got the Corn Ferry tour down there, but you send him to live. Send him down to live. Why not?
They make more money, I guess. So
he would.
That's very much what he's gonna do. So we got Terrence here. Yeah, let's get him on again. Hopefully we can get that long shot for you. Hit that like 80 plus to 1 spot for you. We got Plus Money Bob. Welcome, my guy. Love to see you in here, Jay. I'm just gonna call you Jay. I just know it's you, so I'm just gonna do that there. So Jay goes there. Total scares me a bit. That's what I'm worried about. We'll get into what his play was before we get in there. Got Ryan. Yeah, I know blowouts have been killers lately, but a lot of these games are relatively close. I don't even think, if I remember correctly, when I looked through this morning, I don't think there's one game higher than 8, and I think that 8 is the Bucks facing the Nuggets. So I think 8 is the highest spread, which doesn't mean anything, but obviously we want those spreads close, obviously, with Vegas there too. So Chase, yes, thank you, man. We appreciate all you guys popping in here. 20 of you guys in here in the first 3 minutes. Thank you for joining us on your Wednesday. We got Swaggy D. Welcome. I think unless you change your name, it's the first time I'm seeing this name in here, or in the comment section at least. We got Kerr in here as well. Yeah, he's okay. So we're gonna still call you Jay. We'll call you Jay. Don't worry. Before we even get into it, I guess we already got a question right away. We got a question before we even popped into it. Shogi's talking about Jeremy Grant under points, rebounds, assists at 26.5, 1 for 10 in last 10, but 1 for 2 against Utah last year. I don't really want to touch an under in this game, whether it be like in a lot of these big games, like down the stretch here with these 238s to 245s, it's tough to bet an under. Obviously, it's a little bit more inflated on these, but I would just avoid personally. I don't hate it because obviously you got Anthony Simons playing fantastic. We're going to talk about this game in a little bit, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. It's just Yusuf Nurkic is kind of weird to me, where Jeremy Grant could get some more rebounds and stuff because Nurkic's minutes aren't secure. It's really weird. Like last game, it was 35. The dude drops 26 and 11 and just crushes. Game before, he doesn't even close, and they close with Eubank. So I don't know. This is a very tough team to ride with. Really, the only guy you can truly ride with is probably Dame, Simons, Hart. Those 3 play a lot. And obviously, Grant can have those spike games. We've seen those. So thoughts here on the under at 26.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I like where you're kind of looking with this one. If it were me personally, I would definitely be targeting the guards a little bit more in this matchup for the overs. And I do think they have been doing a pretty good job of kind of keeping the mid-range and paint area a little bit more locked down. We're seeing more Walker Kessler a little bit recently as well, which could mean more Nurkic minutes, like you were saying, which could mean actually less rebound chances. But I do agree with you, man. Betting on Nurkic to kind of play that full 30 can be so tough sometimes when you just see a random 22, 24, 28 minutes. So this is a tough team for me. Like you said, there's a lot of mouths to feed. So I would lean the under right here as well. I like the look.
Yeah, definitely would lean under. It's just it's tough to trust anybody here. And I never know with Billups there, it's just kind of all over the place outside of obviously the guards.
True.
All right. Well, now we can actually get into our recap here. Obviously, we're very happy with how last show went, but we'll go through it for you guys. And yeah, we'll start out here. I think mine was we got calling our. We'll go through calling our shots. He had Pirtle over 12.5 points. That came through. He did, I think, get into pretty bad foul trouble. He had 5 fouls in that game. I think he only played like 26 minutes, but obviously got there. So that's impressive that he got there too. We also had Jaylen Brown and Tatum come through as well. Those injuries did make a huge difference. I think they both had exactly 26, which was pretty funny. So go over to yours. Sengun, nerve-wracking one. This was sweaty. This was a real sweater. I don't think he had much at all, rebounds or assists in the first half. And then second half, it's like, hey, maybe we should do what has been working these last couple weeks.
It was a slow start. He had 1 in the first quarter, but then he ended up at 3 at half. So he was halfway there. It was a little unorthodox. But yeah, Sengun is an absolute wagon. I love this guy. And, if you stick around for long enough, maybe we'll be talking about him again later today. Who knows?
Love it. Then we head over to your other spot here. Lori on the number.
Yep, we got the nice little, it's like minus 170 because the jaw leg actually got canceled out because he didn't end up playing. So it was just Lori like minus 170. So unfortunately, no plus money, but hey, I'll take that. A little bit of money coming back in my account rather than none.
Perfect. And we'll head over to mine here before we go to long shots. Vucevic came through. Again, we talk about why we like doing both. And this was an exact reason why. He had 14 points in this game, 17 boards. That's what we're talking about right there. That's exactly why we like it. And what a game for my boy Jalen Green, man. What a game. The dude popped off. I think it was the highest score on the slate, 42 or 43 real-life points. So obviously crushed this line. And Edwards from the grave, my guy. From the grave. The dude sucked in the first half. Absolutely sucked. I think he had like 9 or 10 points. And then just decided, hey, I'm probably better than every other person out here. Maybe I should do something. And started getting those steals, started sniping from the outside. And obviously, we'll talk about Jalen Green here in a second for our long shots. But unfortunately, the only L was by 1 rebound. And that just, sucks. Absolutely sucks. Pop over to Keegan. I think he hit this early on in the second half, very early on.
Yeah, he had 3 in the first quarter. It was a great start. And Harrison Barnes, too. Harrison Barnes had 15 first quarter points, and Murray was still cashing alongside. It was exactly how we kind of talked about it with Sabonis just absolutely dealing out dimes in that game, finding all those guys on the outside. Same with Fox, too. So that was awesome. This Kings team, man, when those shooters are actually making their shots on the outside, it is so hard to defend that, 2-man game of Fox and Sabonis and then all those shooters. It's a tough team to defend when they're on.
Yeah, they built it right, man. Like you said, yeah, Keegan Murray out there shooting well. I had a really rough stretch there after he started super hot. Had a rough stretch, and we like to see that from rookies, right? Because there's a lot of times that rookies kind of stay in that lull for over half the season. But we've seen Keegan Murray pop off. Obviously, his brother's playing fantastic out at Iowa as well. So that was good to see. And obviously, still have Kevin Huerter. You still got De'Aaron who can snipe, and Harrison Barnes is showing out as well. And then Jalen Green, man, he went on a rampage. I think he had like 3 in the first half, 3 in the second half. We talked about volume, right? That's where we get this money. I think he shot 13 threes in this game, and it was just every time down the floor. Goes to Sengun, kicks it out, easy money. Dude, it was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, that was great. It was correlation. I love when we get correlation from our plays, right? Sengun obviously helped Green get there, and they both got the job done. So that was a fun game to watch. And I think today's is going to be another fun game to watch as well.
No, for sure, for sure. And we could definitely see that and exactly what Ryan brought up. We talked about this before the show, kind of a little bit about this game. And I'll kind of be talking about a spot here that I do like as well. But yeah, that's going to be talked about here. But about 11 minutes, and we got 30 of you guys in here. If you could smash that like button, we will be heading on into our plays here in a second. Stu, today's a weird day because there's not just like one game that we can talk about on a plasma. I mean, we have to because that's literally what this part of the show is. So you have to pick one. But don't be one of those guys who comes on and says, hey, I like this game, but I like this one, and just steal all four from me. So give me only one game that sticks out for you.
Okay, you know me a little bit too well. I'll just say Grizzlies Warriors then. I mean, like you said, so many great games, but that is really an emerging rivalry in the NBA, right? The Grizzlies are a team that has a lot of team confidence. Maybe some would even argue a little bit too much, for the skill set that they possess, but they obviously have a chip on their shoulders, and they definitely view Golden State as kind of the target. They want to be the leaders of the West, but if you want to be the leaders of the West, you actually have to beat the leaders of the West, and that would be the Warriors over the last decade or so. So that's going to be a phenomenal game. It's the regular season. We know this guy's kind of fall into slumps, guys slow down. Any little thing that can kind of get these guys fired up, get them motivated, I'll take it. I think this is going to be a close game, and I'm excited to see the stars shine tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys know I love the late night hammer. You guys know I love it, but I'm actually gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm going to the game I talked about there a little bit. The Thunder in Atlanta, a 1-point spread. Imagine before the season, what would you give this game? Probably a 9 spread, right? I think they played earlier this season. I thought it was like a 7 because I was worried about the blowout. Oklahoma's playing fantastic basketball. They're still not even fully healthy. They're missing a ton of bigs. Obviously, I'm really interested to see if Okongwu does play because if not, I mean, I'm going to be throwing an absolute bomb on Clint Capella because, my God, he's going to play like 35 minutes. Did you watch his game last time? 35 minutes. Dude didn't play for like a month and a half. And then you play one warm-up game. Oh, Okong was out. You go, hey, let's go throw you 35 minutes after an injury for almost like 9 weeks. But, hey, you got to respect it. But, yeah, there's so many. All of those late-night games. We can kind of touch on them kind of a little bit here. But we can go down this list. Like, just listen to these last 4 games of the night. All of them 9 or later in the Central Time. Memphis Warriors, you talked about it, 246 total. Sacramento versus Toronto, 238 total. Jazz in Portland, 239 total. All of those within 3 to 4 point spreads. And we go down to the late game hammer at 243.5 with the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings. Not the Sacramento Kings. I just talked about Sacramento Kings. I'm talking about the Spurs, the worst defense. Probably the worst team in basketball at this point. They are so bad. So we might be seeing one of those big Bron games tonight in those late game ones. I'm interested to see how he does there after just showing out in that last game.
Well, yeah, now Anthony Davis likely to make his return. Also, my guy Rui Hachimura will likely be active for the first time. So it'll definitely be interesting to see the new look Lakers. I mean, I know a lot of you guys in here are obviously big NBA fans. I think one thing we've been able to see all season long is that the Lakers really do kind of tend to play down to their competition. If you remember last year, the Thunder was the team. I think the Thunder sent the Lakers to overtime like 2 or 3 times last year. It's always those kind of lower tier teams that you'd expect the Lakers to come out, the new look, and just destroy them. The momentum, all that stuff. But, that doesn't end up happening all the time. So the Lakers always kind of play down to their opponents. So who knows? That could be a real fun game as well. But, yeah, I mean, obviously get your questions in if you have any, because there's a good chance. We're talking about 4 props here, a couple long shots. I think I'm going to have a ton of stuff today. I already know you have some stuff out already. Like, if you have a question, it's very likely we might be on the same page today because there's a lot of great stuff to cover.
Yeah, and like I said, when there's games like this, please manage that bankroll, guys, because I know you can look at all this stuff and be like, damn, I like that one. It's like going to the grocery store when you're hungry. That's kind of how I think about it. You don't do it, right? Give yourself a limit. Don't let yourself go past that, because I don't know if I'm the only guy. I'm sure I'm not. But when you go to the grocery store, when you're hungry, I'm grabbing the whole candy section. I'm grabbing cereal. I'm grabbing every single thing that's quick and super unhealthy because I'm starving. But don't do that here. Don't be just throwing 19 legs in these parlays. We got 10 great games, and we're going to talk about some of them here. But that's my one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit here, because I know on these games and these slates, it's tough because there's so many nice spots and so many guys that we like. I guess we should probably bring this up because you are a Lakers fan. You might as well just pull the Washington flag from back down there and switch that up. But do we want to talk any Lakers stuff? It's kind of tough with AD, right? You just don't know how much usage and stuff he's going to take up, and a lot of those like cheaper guys like Thomas Bryant and all these guys that were getting a ton of run and a ton of usage. Tough to use them now, right?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, I don't know if I'm kind of in the middle right now. Washington did beat that bum Spencer Dinwiddie. He tried to talk trash in the post-game interview. Kuzma hit him with a little KO punch on Twitter. And guess what? Dinwiddie's 0 for 3 against Washington. So maybe I'm back on board. Maybe they won me over with some, Denny Advia playing 30 minutes a night. I can get fired up for that. But as a semi-lifelong Lakers fan, I agree with what you're saying right there. For me, I think the biggest thing is, I'm curious, do you think AD starts at center? Because he was doing that earlier. He was playing very, very well, but everyone in the world is kind of projecting Thomas Bryant to kind of go and slide in that center role and AD play the 4. And I think that could definitely make sense. At first, I was going to say that's a bad idea, but when you really look at the bench, I don't know if you want Russ, Rui, and Thomas Bryant all being on the same time, like on defense. That's such a terrible defensive combo. So I think for the sake of rotations, we do see Thomas Bryant start. And I do think that could make him pretty interesting if his number gets real low.
I don't know. I feel like I almost want Rui out there in that starting lineup. Do you think that that's something that they won't do? Like, I could definitely see that just because he actually can shoot the basketball. They don't have many dudes who can shoot. And AD just demands so much attention. LeBron demands so much attention. You can actually kind of spread the floor. You got Schroeder, who can shoot as well, who's been playing extremely well. We can actually kind of use Rui as that almost like stretch 4, I mean, maybe that's something that we could see from this Lakers team, because Thomas Bryant could work really well with Russ, especially if he's trying to put up those assist numbers, like some of those games where he kind of goes for him.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think Rui's going to have to earn that. I don't think that's something that's going to happen quickly, but I do agree that when they do have these rotations, I do think they sync up AD and Rui a decent amount, because you want that spot-up shooter on the outside that's just able to knock down those threes and space the floor for Anthony Davis, who shoots like 20% from 3 over these last couple seasons.
Yeah, great pickup. Like I said, great pickup for it. Unfortunately, that news was so late last show that I couldn't even put him as the thumbnail. Because he probably would have made the cover for sure. We're a pro Rui show here and now pro Lakers show. So let's get into this slate here. A guy we kind of talked about already, right? We talked about him in the recap section, and it looks like you were going back to him today.
I am going back to him today, and we could have some long-winded analysis, blah blah blah. Could I just tell you that Dwight Powell scored 22 points against the Wizards last night? Is that enough? Can we just move on?
I think you sold me.
Right. I mean, so all season long, we've known, if you've been watching the show or just betting NBA, Washington has not been good against centers with any sort of touch, right? Any center that can kind of score in that little shallow mid-range, not necessarily just at the paint, right? But just around the paint, that little mid-range area. Sengun is going to be taking most of his shots right there. Time and time, I mean, DeAndre Ayton was one of the favorites to bet against them. Valanciunas went off. Pretty much any center that has the ability to score the basketball. And now we're even without Porzingis, right? Because Porzingis is huge. That was clearly their best defensive center. Now that he's out, guys like Dwight Powell, who are like, let's be honest, he's like the low of the low for a starting center in the NBA. There aren't many other guys in the NBA that you'd probably not, he's a body. I like Dwight Powell. He's a solid role player, but he's not a starting center in today's NBA. And the fact that he scored 22 points against Washington last night is very, very telling. Daniel Gafford and Taj Gibson will be their 2 center options, although they only played Taj Gibson 6 minutes last night, despite the fact that Gafford fouled out in 18 minutes. So that means they're 2 guys that are above 6'9". They only combined for 24 minutes last night. And that obviously led to Dwight Powell absolutely balling out. Luka ended up grabbing an additional 15 rebounds alongside Powell's 9 rebounds in that game. it's just such a tough matchup for Washington to defend the center position. And it looks like they're just going to kind of sacrifice that and try to play around it. I mean, playing a guy like Denny and Kuzma at center, and even Anthony Gill, who's like 6'6", is very, very risky. And it's pretty much the strategy is let's shut everybody down and kind of let the center, we'll double him when he gets in the paint. We'll force him to kick out. And that plays into Sengun's skill set so well. I mean, Sengun is arguably the second best passing center in basketball. I don't know who's really arguing with that. I mean, Embiid and Giannis are obviously, just because of how much they're forced to pass, going to be in that conversation. But Sengun is such a great national. I mean, he's baby Jokic for a reason, right? So it's just a matchup we've been targeting all year long. I want to attack the Wizards in the paint. And I like that points plus assists gives you the option that not only do I think he's going to have a lot of success shooting, but when they do throw those doubles at him, right? When they have 2 6'6" guys forced to guard him, he's going to have those easy kickouts. He's going to have guys like Jalen Green, who's absolutely on fire, available out on the outside. So Sengun has been playing great this season, and I think he just keeps it going. I think I'll probably get to him in another way too. I think maybe an alt line, maybe I'll do a little, bring the points down a little, the assist down, and combine that way. I just think he has a great night overall.
Yeah, you're not going to get an argument from me. Obviously, he's I'm going to use the drafting terminology. He's usually like 6,500 on that. Mm-hmm. He's been that most of the year. Dude's pushing 9K now. The dude is getting to elite center roles here, and obviously we'd like to see that when we're backing him, because I don't think the market really has gotten there yet, right? We're a little bit early, and I think that's obviously a good sign before we start seeing those spikes, right? This is a good spot.
I mean, he's playing point center right now. No Kevin Porter Jr. This team does not, like we talked about last show, they don't have another. Oh, yeah, Sabonis is very true. He's probably number 2 right now. That's a good point. But it's just there's no option. There's no alternative. He is the point center at this point because there's no primary ball handler. And I obviously didn't mention that, but he's been crushing the assist. I believe 6 or more assists in like 7 straight games coming in. Last time we played it at -125. Now it's up to like -150. So the Bucks are slowly adapting, but I don't think they're adapting fast enough.
Yeah, baby Jokic, baby. I love that. I love that nickname. And obviously, I mean, you've been making a lot of money on him. I've been tailing, so I'm on board for sure. So let's get to my first play here. And I know there's probably a little bit of a sour taste in your guys' mouth because I had him and he's been making me so much money at the beginning of the year. Then he went through a little bit of a lull. Now he's back. This man is back and he's better than ever right now. Let's talk about my guy here, Damian Lillard. He is facing off in one of those late night hammer games that we were talking about. So obviously a pretty hefty total there. He's actually hit this in 5 of his last 7 games. This dude is finally getting that 3-point shot to fall, right? And that's really where it comes down to his last 4 games. Last 4 games, he has yet to attempt less than 11 threes. He's made 3 in all of them. The dude is just throwing them up. And obviously he's still attacking, still getting the assists. I like this line because he's actually doubled in 4 of his last 6 games for the assists and had 3 straight doubles if you want to look at just these last couple games here. Potential assists are through the roof. I think what really is helping him right now is when they do go small and they go with Eubanks can shoot threes. You have Anthony Simons, who is shooting 3-ball really well on the kicks, but also you have the double teams coming on 90% of these times, right? He's driving and they bring that guy over to help. You got Nurk down there if you really need him. And Josh Hart's guy is just coming off. Like there was a game, I think he had 14 points, Josh Hart. And I don't think he shot a ball outside of 3 feet because they're all layups because he just cuts to the hoop. Dame dumps it down. Obviously, I really like the spot with the total. I like the usage that we're obviously seeing from Mr. Dame because obviously he is a top guy in the usage department. But also, if this game stays as close as it's supposed to, right, we have a 3-point spread. This man's playing 39, 40 minutes, right? I mean, it's crazy, right? You look at the other games, right? You can look at San Antonio. He ended up with 49 points assists in 31 minutes. The 2 games prior that are within 10 points, we're seeing them in that 40-minute mark, right? A lot of these games are 37 to 40 minutes when they're close, and I expect that type of usage. Again, today I expect those types of minutes, and we're hitting in 5 of 7. In a few of those games, we're seeing blowouts, and he's still getting there. I really like this spot. Obviously, even when it gets down the stretch, we could easily get some free throws too. And Dame is one of the best free throw shooters in the game as well.
Yeah, man, this is one of those just volume. We kind of talked about it a little before the show. Dame is one of those guys you really want to bet him when he's in these hot streaks. As for some guys, you can very reliably bet a bounce back game on, right? The volume is there, blah, blah, blah. You can kind of see the bounce back coming. Dame is one of those guys, I really don't try to predict the bounce back. Sometimes he just goes through these kind of lulls. He has these tougher streaks. But when he's catching fire like he has right now, then you really want to jump on board. And you kind of mentioned it, but this is a great matchup right here. A team that is allowing tons of outside shots. They're a little bit better at kind of defending the perimeter of late, at least. That's obviously going to sacrifice some more outside shooting. So I think Dame does have a good game right here. I like that you have the points assist in case maybe Simon starts to heat up in the second quarter. Maybe he has a nice little quarter where he's just funneling all those outside shots. But I agree with this spot. I think it's a good one.
And lastly, I know you're a big Walker Kessler guy, but if he sinks off for even 2 seconds, that ball is going to be out of Damian Lillard's hand in a heartbeat. That's why I think we're seeing these 14, 13 3-point attempt games, right? That's where it comes down to is these dudes are obviously afraid of the combo of Nurkic driving and obviously getting that pick and pop stuff going with Simons as well. I really just have a tough time seeing them stop him in any way. And Utah is bottom 10 in free throws allowed as well, 25 per game. Damian Lillard is just, I looked at Damian Lillard. He had like games where he was getting like 13. He's like 13 for 13. Like it's crazy. Like this dude's numbers just fly off the page when he's actually being aggressive and hitting his shots from the outside. Oh, okay. We have no other questions in here so far. I will look through up top here. I don't think we do. So let's head on over. We'll head back to our last 2 plays, and I will kick it over to you for the guy that messed up your parlay last time by not playing. He didn't lose it for you, but he just didn't get to play. Hopefully tonight he gets to come through for you.
Yep, John Morant looks like he'll be making his return right here. Over 28.5 points, minus 110 over on MGM. They do have some nice value compared to a lot of the other books with this number at the moment. So Ja's coming in, obviously missed in a couple games. I think that maybe bring down the number. But if you still look at his last month, the volume is there, averaging 20 field goal attempts per game, averaging 28.1. So this is right along with this season average right here, but it kind of brings in that factor that I absolutely love, which is we get the rivalry game, right? We get a team that Ja has had a lot of success against in over his last couple seasons, not just this year. He had over a 30-point game, not just in this game, but in his last 5 games. And then I believe he's also over in 7 of his last 8 dating back. So he's just been crushing this number. He's a guy that we know, like I said, is going to have that 20 field goal attempts per game. I talk about this all the time. When you want to spike performance, one of the first things I always look at is free throws. And the Golden State Warriors are allowing more free throw attempts than any other team in the NBA. Ja is obviously a guard that drives the paint, right? He's going to be trying to draw that contact. That is his goal down there. And I mean, this is a perfect matchup to exploit it. So like I said, he had that 30-point performance in his first game. That was also going 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. Teams give Ja his outside shot, right? They're kind of willing to sacrifice it so he doesn't drive and kind of take over the game in that way. So if we do just get a slightly better shooting performance, anything better than 20 points or 20% from outside, then that could even enable some more driving, enable some more field goal attempts, and even some more free throws. So Ja obviously has just been crushing it. I love the matchup right here. I love that these two teams really don't like each other. Both teams are coming in. They want to win. And the Grizzlies feel like they have something to prove. Like I said earlier, this is a team that they have a chip on their shoulder. They believe they're kind of the future of the West. And this is one of those games where they can showcase it on national TV with everybody watching. So Ja, he's a star. He's a rising star. And, this is a time for him to show it. So I think this is a really good spot right here.
Beautiful, beautiful breakdown. And I love that look that you're going to the Warriors there too. Like when they love that. We're going to see some talking. I would maybe throw a little sprinkle on an ejection, maybe a little Draymond Green, Dylan Brooks. If you could find, maybe I know you like finding these weird things on Prize Picks. Maybe they offer ejections over a half an ejection at like 5x your money. I would take that. That is definitely worth a sprinkle. All righty, my last spot of the night is going to be heading over to a nice little combo. 2 guys that have been good to me so far this season. Let's just talk about Sabonis. I know we got some Kings fans in here, and I can't blame you, dude. They're fun to watch. Going to be a lot of threes chucked up in this game from both sides. Obviously, I really like this spot for Sabonis to grab some boards. I had Sabonis rebounds and assists, and I got hooked in the last game because they just blew out the Memphis Grizzlies because Ja and Steven Adams sat. That one really sucked because there was no indication that we had any issue with Steven Adams, and then he just sits, and then he's out for 3 weeks now. So at least we know he wasn't faking it just to not mess with Sabonis, So at least we know that. But if we look at it, like his numbers over the last month, 13.1 is his average on rebounds here. We've seen some pop-off games up to 18 in here as well. But what I do really like is just the opportunities, right? We like to look at distance from the rim. We like to look at all that fun stuff just because we're weird and we're nerds on this stuff, right? So Domantas Sabonis is number 2 in the NBA, only behind Steven Adams in terms of rebound chances. This is over the last 15 games because obviously there's some skewed stuff early on in the season. So I'm looking at the recent form, right? Last 15 games, he is number 2 in terms of rebounding chances. But I also like, you brought it up last time, distance from the rim. He's only 4.1 feet from the rim on those rebounding chances. The only guy in the top 10 that's closer is Steven Adams at 3.9 feet. So we love that. Obviously, you got Toronto here who played pretty decent defense. But I think people kind of get that thought that Toronto's a slow team again. But they're not. They're middle of the pack now. They used to be one of the slowest along with the Knicks. Both of those teams kind of took a step forward, and they're probably playing at a little bit faster pace, a little bit more normal pace, like in the middle, right? A little bit more of the average there. And then obviously Shai, I'm going to be all over him probably in way too many different ways in this game. I love this spot with Atlanta. We talked about the spread. We talked about it being close. Shai is really getting those crazy minutes lately, right? 38, 37, 36, 3 of the last 4 games. But I talked about free throws. Atlanta's in the bottom half of free throws allowed per game. Guess what Shai did against these guys first game? He had 35 points, 15 for 15 from the line. This dude just went straight at you. Atlanta's bottom 3 in terms of points in the paint allowed. Guess who's number 1 in drives per game? That is Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Sign me up. This dude is going to pop off on these boys tonight.
Yeah, this is a great combo. I'm kind of mad I didn't come up with this one myself. I mean, this is 100% a tail. Maybe even I'll sneak in a little bit more than a unit on this one. I just think these are 2 guys that I absolutely want to target tonight. Even when you look at SGA, like you said, the drives versus points in the paint is one of the best things you can look at. And even looking at it from a personnel standpoint, Clint Capella is obviously a very good rim protector. He's going to play that drop. But when you give a guy like SGA that is so crafty that much space to work in that little intermediate range before he gets to the rim, it's just a recipe for disaster. Additionally, Capella can't move his feet fast enough to keep up with a guy like SGA when he's forced in those kind of coverage situations, which is going to lead to more free throw attempts. So I just think this is a great combo. Shai's one of those guys I always like to bring down. Some guys are really boom or bust. They either go 30 or 17. SGA is not that guy. He's going to be playing high 30s minutes. He's clearly the number 1 on this team, and he's going to get 20 points. Like 25 points is a bad day for SGA. He can go a solid, 13 for 27 from the field and hit this number, or an 11 for 24. Like, he can have a bad shooting performance and still get this number, which is exactly what I look for. And then you crush the Sabonis analysis. I completely agree with that one.
Yeah, only 2 games this month he's actually missed this number. And one of them was against Chicago where they lost by 14. He only played 33 minutes. The other one, they blew out the Tyrese Halliburton-less Pacers by 25, and he only played 30 minutes. So spreads there, right? 3.5, right? If we get that total or that spread combined with that total, I think we're going to see some fireworks from my boy SGA. And obviously, I expect it to be one of those games where you see those those alpha guys, right? You got Trae Young on one side, you got Shai. We love those, right? We talk about it with pitchers and aces. We want those guys to be best on best and see what happens here. So let's do it. Even with a shorthanded team, this team is 8-3 in their last 11. Sign me up, baby. Let's go Thunder.
It makes no sense that the Thunder are playing, especially on defense. Like, the Thunder are playing good defense right now. They're creating easy transition buckets for a guy like SGA. It's incredible that they're playing this well. And obviously they have Chet coming next year to actually give them a real center, because they just don't play with one right now, which is pretty funny.
Dude, watch Chet come back, be like 280, bro. Just massive, bro. Yeah, you got a whole year, dude. Just, eat some ice cream, bro. Put like 150 on. That's probably the best way to do it. You're out for a year, can't really run around, no cardio. Just get on that bench press. Just start doing some chess, dude. Nice. That's a way to do it, man.
You know those Walmart scooters that people take around? He's not taking any steps all year, baby. Let's get that weight up.
All right. I thought Stu would like to hear that Taylor Pendrith actually made a birdie on a par 5. So, I mean, you have to make a birdie. You're +3 through 3 holes. So just thought I'd give him a shout out for his caddy watching the show here that we talked about at the pregame. Told him to hype up a little bit, and he did. We love to see that. We love to see that. Guys listening in from the course out there at Torrey Pines. Eddie bringing up some Prize Picks spots. Went 2-1 yesterday. Congrats, man. Happy to see you're making some money. 31.5 points rebounds for Sabonis. Absolutely love that spot. We got Ja over 27.5, so we got a nice point of value there. And the second one is Sengun, 30.5 points plus rebounds, and Keegan Murray over 2.5 threes. Really like both of those spots. Stu, I know this is tough because I think we both like both of these, but which one would you say should be that full unit one versus the half unit one? Or would you mix up the combos a little bit?
I really like them both. I'm going to talk about we've talked about everyone involved right here. I mean, I gave out Sengun and I gave out John Morant. You went with the rebounds, I went with the assist, but I was very closely considering PRA as well. Keegan Murray is someone we're going to touch on a bit for long shots. And yes, Sabonis is someone you gave great analysis of. The only thing I would say, I guess, I'll pick the second one with Sengun and Murray, just because I'll say I like Sabonis rebounds and assists a little bit more than I like points. Toronto, they're known for doubling. They swarm that ball handler. They make him kick out. They make those 3-point shooters beat him, and I think that might be what happens today. But hey, he went 20-20 last game against them, 20 points, 20 boards. So I wouldn't be ruling out anything. I'm very glad we're on the same page today, Eddie. That's good news.
What I do think is weird for this team, for Toronto, is they don't even start a center. I don't consider Siakam a center.
Yeah.
That's what's weird because they have Boucher. Like he is a true center. Like Boucher is an actual true center, right?
Yes.
Because he obviously actually has rim protection there,
yeah,
block shots. But they don't play with a center. They're playing small ball there. And I guess you could say the same thing if you think Sabonis is more of like that like point forward, like they use Giannis with, if you want to use it in that terminology. But it's just weird that both of these teams are almost playing like that positionless basketball that people talk about, because all these teams can just kind of move around so fluidly.
I like it. I like this new trend. I would actually put them all in the same category. I think Giannis fits in that category, although they do run the more traditional, but I think Giannis could, 100%. And then I put Siakam and Sabonis both in that same spot, which I do think makes an interesting matchup right there. It makes a pretty balanced matchup, and I think both of them are going to go at each other.
Perfect. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Just some Jay bringing up the Kings hype. We got Kurt bringing up some Thunder hype, obviously. Hopefully that Chet can make it back and be healthy when that comes to the time there. So, Stu, we're rolling here. We're under 40 minutes. We got 35 of you guys in here. Thank you guys so much. We see more of you guys joining in here by the minute. So thank you guys for that. Let's do our recap and let's get to our long shots here. I think we got some spots. I don't even think you told me yours yet, so I'll be writing this down on the fly. But hey, that's that production here that we have on Pass Prop. Is we're as impromptu as it gets. So let's do your recap here, and I'll start off with your spot here.
Yep, Sengun over 25.5 points plus assists. Started this one out for a unit, but I could definitely see myself adding a little bit more to maybe a couple of different angles for Sengun. I think it's a great night tonight. Then went over a little bit more popular, went over to BetMGM. John Morant over 28.5 points in a rivalry game against the Golden State Warriors.
Beautiful. And I'll be heading to Sabonis, 12 rebounds there with Shy 25 points. And then Dame Dalla, 39.5 points plus assists, minus 105. Stu, it's that time. It is that time. The time that people want to see some long shots from us. Let's see what we got. Stu, I'll kick it to you first. What do you got for the people tonight?
Yeah, so the way I ended up going about it, we've talked a little bit so far. I did a little 2-leg parlay. I went Sabonis to get 10 assists and Keegan Murray to hit 4 threes plus 700. You obviously get the correlation right here. The Sabonis kickouts are going to be going directly to a guy like Keegan Murray. I haven't line shopped this on DraftKings, so maybe it has a slightly better price over there. But I love this combo here. Actually, Keegan Murray was the long shot we hit on the last show where he was absolutely on fire, shooting almost 50% in the month of January from three, having a great month. I mean, like you said, he kind of went through that rookie evolution. He struggled a little bit. I like how honest their coach was in the postgame, right? He said, Keegan Murray, he's in a spot where he's playing on a playoff team. If he sucks, we're going to bench him, but he's obviously earned it right now, playing great basketball. And then Sabonis assist is something I'm going to probably get to in a couple different ways today, but I like kind of going up to the 10. I also like his triple-double. Obviously, assist would be the hardest one, so triple-double is definitely a good look right there. But I think the Raptors, like I said earlier, they're known. They swarm those ball handlers. They send all that length. They send all those bodies. And Siakam is pretty well equipped to defend him, right? They're about the same size, a very good kind of defensive profile right there. I think he's going to force those outside shots. And I just like the correlation on these two guys to both get the job done tonight, especially against a Raptors team that's allowing the most spot-up threes in basketball.
All right. I like your spot. I do like that you brought up the Sabonis triple-double. That'll be on my card for sure. And you know what? I just thought about it, and I'm like, I want to hit something crazy, bro. I want to hit something crazy.
Okay.
And I know it's out there, right? I get it. You guys would be like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, why is he doing this shit? You know? But hey, I've spent $10 on worse. I'm doing a 40-point parlay with my two boys, SGA, Dame Dollar. It's giving me almost 28-1. Let me get that plus out because it got in the way. But man, dude, I've spent, like I said, I've spent money on worse. Dame is hot right now. He's done this twice already over his last 5 games, hitting 40 points. Volume is going to be there. Jazz total is high up there. I think a guy with a 30+% usage rate in Dame can definitely get it done. We're going to know if Dame's hitting 40 within the first 5 minutes of this game because he's going to have like 8 assists in that first quarter. He's going to have like 10 points in the first 5 minutes and just shooting every time down the floor. So I love Dame tonight. SGA, I just love those free throws, man. Those free throws really pushed me over the top on this, right? Shooting 90% from the line. One of the other times SGA dropped 40 for me, or it might have been like 38 or something. I don't remember what it was. It might have been that New Orleans game where he dropped 44. Like towards the end of that game, all they kept doing was fouling him. They kept fouling, like they started fouling early, and every single time SGA finds a way to get that ball and has him get fouled. Him getting those shots at the end. The dude's a 91% free throw shooter. Like I said, I think that we got enough volume here. We got a lot of spots here that we like. These are those big slates that kind of have these 40-point games, right? These are the types of slates because you start to see these games on prime time. You start to see these bigger spots. And I feel like a lot of people are going to go to that Lakers game. They're going to go to those pretty high total spots there. But I think Dame definitely has the chance here. And the Jazz, I truly don't believe anyone there is going to come close to guarding him. And if we get 40 minutes, hey, it's only 1 point a minute, right? 1 point a minute. This guy's playing 40 minutes. Come on, Dave. Let's get that. One point a minute. Just get some free throws every minute.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the odds speak for themselves right here. Obviously going for a true long shot. You know, I felt like I was doing pretty good. And then you definitely won up to me. I see Terrence is obviously hitting us with the 4-leg parlay, which I will not be playing, just to be clear.
I don't even know if my book will let me do that if I don't go down to like DraftKings or something.
Yeah, like I like the spot right here. I like that both these guys we know have the 40-point ceiling in their game. And hey, I think it's definitely worth a sprinkle. I'll be joining you, but I would not be parlaying this with other stuff. Like, you know, when you see people have the 40+ points and then they'll randomly throw in like Blazers money line -110. And you're like, why did you just do that? Like, you just hit a plus 2,800 parlay and you lost on a -135 leg, you know? So I think if you want to go for the long shots, you put them together and you kind of keep them that way.
Watch what's going to happen. You know what sucks is we're going to have SGA at 40 through 3 quarters, and then I'm going to have to sweat all night again. You're going to make me stay up till midnight like I had to do on Sunday, or at least that one was at least done by 10:30. You know, like we hit that long shot on that winning spot. I think we should just test our luck, right? Shooters shoot. If you're hot, You keep shooting, it's starting to stay hot, right? I mean, we hit both of our long shots last time. You're going to hit yours, so that means we're going to hit 3 in a row. And then I'm like, all right, let's test it out. Like, let's heat check a little bit. You know, Dame pulls up from half court after he makes back-to-back threes. It's just a heat check. That's all we're doing.
And to be honest, I mean, a guy that we talked about last show that hit for you, I don't even mind sprinkling on Jalen Green again, right? I mean, the Wizards have absolutely struggled against these kind of star players, against these scorers, and he's balled out. As you know, obviously you hit the bet on this show without Kevin Porter Jr. So kind of going back to the guys that have been doing us good this season, I think is a good strategy right here.
Yeah, find those people, right? Find those people that you like. Find those people that have made you money so far, and ride them. Ride the wave. Tyler Hero I don't even know. Did he even get 10 points? I saw him with 9 with like 5 minutes left in the game, and you have no Jimmy buckets. Oh man,
I don't bet on the Heat that much, which definitely makes me happy. And just once again, guys, it's cool to say Tyler Tuesdays. I know he has a good history of making shots on Tuesdays. I promise you it doesn't matter. Like, I promise you, like, look me in the eyes right now. The day of the week has absolutely nothing to do with his performance out there. I know it sounds cool. Tyler Tuesdays. I like it. I like it. Good marketing, you know, cool kind of thing right there. Please, just like betting Trevor Lawrence on a Saturday, that doesn't actually affect the outcome of the game that much. So just a little PSA for anyone out there that enjoys the correlation, not in the in game, but in the name. You know, maybe it's Tyler Wednesdays. Who knows?
Sorry, guys, that Stu had to be the bringer of that bad news. I know a lot of you guys were liking that. I know hopefully you didn't take out a second mortgage to throw on Trevor Lawrence money line in those Jags because it was a Saturday. Hopefully you did it. Hopefully you hit the live Jaguars money line in the game before. Hopefully that's where it was. But I agree wholeheartedly on that one. And Stu, let's do like a quick 5-second smile here just when this hits. So this can be like my background of the of the profile picture there and the background of my thing when I hit this. So just so now I have it so I can at least screenshot that. So that's good. So it's going to be I had to prepare because I'm going to need a screenshot.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we do here right here. We get stuff done early. We're micromanaged and everything goes according to plan. There you go.
Love it. We love. Hey, what is it? What are the Kings have like that? The sick jersey that I saw them use. I don't remember when it was or what the name of it was, but I need to get a Light the Beam shirt. Hopefully they got some of those for sale. I'm going to have to make a West Coast trip and get my Josh Hart jersey while I'm out there, grab all that together so I can just grab it all at once. So hopefully we can. Yeah.
And before we get off of here too, I will say the final trend you want to look at. I was in my guy Troy Hermo's spaces yesterday, and somebody dropped this. Apparently, if you're looking at betting the NFL Super Bowl winner, apparently teams in non-legal gambling states have been absolutely crushing championships recently. So if your team is located in a legal gambling state, sorry to tell you, it's not looking good. So there's a pretty much a foolproof edge right there that we found out about yesterday, just in case you're curious.
Hey, any information is good information, right? That's what they say. So
yep.
Obviously we got a ton of action for you guys tonight. I know you're going to have more plays. I already dropped my play of the day for some college basketball tonight. Hopefully we'll see some more points in those games as well. So I don't see any other questions. Thank all you guys for coming out here today. Obviously a lot of you guys in here for most of the time. We still got 35 of you guys through 45 minutes. So we appreciate you. Let's send it over to Stu. What do you got for the people before we head out, my man?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously make sure to follow us both on Twitter, like you see at the bottom of the screen. Check us both out over on the Pickett Sports app as well. You get between $3 and $100 when you sign up. I've been posting some nice little prize picks, some nice long shots, and I've already got a couple prize picks locked in. So I got to share them somewhere. I'll put them in my Discord. I'll put them over on Pickett. But yeah, tons of stuff coming out, and we've got a great show coming on Friday. 2 amazing games. I have so much written down already. There's so much to talk about. I think we're going to get really the 4 best teams in football playing each other. Unfortunately, there's the Mahomes injury, a little bit of stuff like that, but a lot of great stuff to talk about Friday. So I'm excited to see you guys right there at 1 p.m. EST.
Yeah, no, I think that's one of the cooler things here too, is I think if we talked prior to the playoffs starting, these would have been the 4 teams we expected to be there, right? Or at least the Bills, Cincy, right? That was the fight, right? Yep. You could unquestionably say the top 3 teams are there, right? You could say top 2 from the NFC are definitely there. Cincy's always tough. That's going to be such a fun game. I'm pumped there. And let's see if Superman and Patrick Mahomes, his guy's kryptonite, and my boy Joey B there. We'll see. Should be a fun game. I'm excited to break it down with you again. And we should have a guest on too, a new guest. So make sure you tune in and check that out as well. So have a good one, guys. Best of luck on all your bets. Again, manage that bankroll, please. I know there's so many props that look good. Yeah. It's even hard for me to not just keep clicking every button, but just make sure one night doesn't kill us, right? So have a good one, guys. Best of luck. And, let's crush this slate again.